Hi, I'm Garry Bright. I'm a veterinary surgeon and an acupuncturist. I came into the acupuncture world essentially through running my own horse practice. I was finding some illnesses in horses that I couldn't solve with Western medicine, so I had to start looking at the Eastern medicine, and I found acupuncture and Chinese medicine as an example of that. However, after years of trying to treat certain illnesses, chronic illnesses and illnesses that related to allergies essentially, I came to understand that neither the Western medicine or the Eastern medicine could help me. So what I had to do was come up with my own medical system to solve these problems. So I had to look at the other sciences, and essentially the sciences of physics and chemistry, to come up with this new system. What I looked at was the beginnings of the universe, both in Eastern folk origins, and also what science has, as much as science can tell from the beginnings of the universe. And then I looked at theories of other physicists that came up with theories of everything that give us an understanding, that give us an understanding of the problem of Newtonian laws and quantum laws, and how to qualify those two very different laws and how they work in the body. So I followed a theory of where essentially the universe begins as a bubble, and the universe comes from this original source, and in this universe, through Chinese theology, basically you get the yin and the yang. So you have in one bubble and another bubble of a universe, and this, in the one bubble, this is the reality that we live in. We live in a 3D space and one dimension of time, and the other bubble, which is really related to the quantum world, that is in 3D time and 1D space. So from these two original forces, you get another development of yin and yang, and essentially you get a development of four forces which then play out in the universe and then subsequently in the body. So understanding this theory, I started to look for the four forces in the body, and eventually what I came upon was the understanding that there are actually four energetic systems in the body. There's the yin and the yang, which the Chinese are very understanding about, but there's another two energy systems that we are not looking at. And essentially what I found this to be was all based on fractals. So because these four forces are essentially time, space, energy and matter, time is like yesterday, today and tomorrow, so it is in one direction, moving in one direction, whereas space, I could be in this space or I could be in this space. It's bidirectional. Energy and matter is the same. So basically time pulls these three other forces and creates a tetrahedron, which is the beginning blocks of the whole universe. And I found a physicist, Dr. Robert Moon, who actually would look at the periodic table, and he placed the elements, or rearranged the elements of the periodic table according to the tetrahedron and the other platonic shapes. And essentially this is how he was able to organize the periodic table, and those platonic shapes fit in with the Eastern model of the five-element system. And suddenly, things were starting to fall into place. The tetrahedron creates three fractals, so that in the body is built from 3 embryological tissues, and the body is organized as in fractals of 3. 1, 2, 3. 1 joint, 2 joints, 3 joints. And so I started to see this very special fractal arrangement, and obviously this understanding of the 4 forces, and really started to treat my patients with this system of fractal acupuncture and healing. And the results I was getting was quite resounding. But the results, why I was getting these results is because it's different. In Chinese medicine, if you diagnose a yin condition, which basically means that the patient feels hot, you would then give them herbs or acupuncture and foods to nourish the coolness so that they don't feel hot. So basically you make a diagnosis and then you give completely the opposite as a treatment. However, in my system, it's all based on the fact that the body repels a substance or attracts a substance. So this is the basic energetic immune system. There's ionic charges of electrical repulsion, and there's magnetic charges or magnetic fields of repulsion. I then went on to create this TC device, which actually changes that repulsion to an attraction. And I connected it to acupuncture channels and put on substances like vitamins, minerals, foods, drugs, and found incredible responses. So where previously, where I was using herbs and acupuncture, and it would take several weeks for the patient to respond, but suddenly my patients were responding immediately. And this really was quite resounding, and many patients have experienced the similar benefits. I found these 4 energy systems. I found the basis of the repulsion and attraction, and I started to do some clinical trials. I thought, okay, I've created this device. Let me see if I can put this into science and identify how this works. My first clinical trial was a classic double-blind placebo trial, which unfortunately did not work. And that simply is because what we're dealing with here is, in quantum physics, we're dealing with a wave type of treatment. So a double-blind placebo trial works fantastic for a drug, which is a substance. So you put the substance in a patient and you walk away and you let the substance do the job. However, with a wave form of treatment, it is a lot of interaction of the practitioner and the patient. So I did these trials, and then I went on and did an observed clinical trial and improved my results tremendously, but it still was not as good as I felt that it could get. And what I went on to do was study healing and the actual healing process, and actually what happens in a healing situation. And the healing really is that repulsion to an attraction process. And I developed a healing intention method. And once I developed that healing intention method, then my clinical results were improved right up to about 95-98% with a single treatment. So, additionally along the line, I also started to record the substances into music. So I recorded through the TC device and recorded the music. So I'd place an acupuncture needle or do some healing, play the sound that I've created, and do this healing intention method. And all together with all of those 3 items, the healings were happening. There was resounding successes. For example, a quadriplegic dog patient, which many vets had told the owner to put him to sleep, responded within just 2 treatments. another dog patient with acute renal failure. Several vets had told the owner, put her to sleep. One actual acupuncture just did the job. A further session resolved the situation completely. Another human patient that had stroke, I went and visited them in the hospital, and the doctors didn't know what was going on, and I gave some healing, and the owner, the patient didn't know who she was, she didn't recognize her family, and within one session of healing, the patient was back to normal within 24-hour periods. Complete recovery. So the importance really is to understand that Western medicine and Chinese medicine is lacking. And this fractal acupuncture system, the theories behind this, fills in the gaps. And if you want to achieve great strides with your patients, this theory needs to be applied.
How they deal with the problems with having a father that's not providing. So sort of along those lines, it's affected my marriage big time too. So
yeah,
so it's a struggle.
Yeah, I mean that's very vast. So let's
I know it's vast, but I think a lot of it sort of stems back from childhood.
Yeah,
had a pretty rough childhood. Got beat by big brothers, then got beat by the father with a whip type thing.
Yeah.
So, and sorry.
Yeah.
So I sort of struggled there. Had a lot of. Was very accident prone when I was young as well, and I think that's sort of part of it as well. Not having any love or concern for myself. So I think that sort of stems back from right then as well.
Okay.
Sort of got run over by cars, and
what's that?
It's always getting
What's that?
hurt by other people.
To put it in a nutshell, I think a lot of the causes are connected, and hopefully Garry might be able to help me with some of these problems.
Okay, Brett, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look into energy. Just as a recap, there's 4 energies that I'm going to look at. 3 of those energies are going to be affecting your body, and then the 4th energy is your consciousness. Okay, so last week I think we concentrated mostly on physical stuff, and we'll just see where your energy is now. So just take me a few minutes to go into that. I've got to go into a different space to feel your energy, so just hang tight while I do that. If this gets too hot, just let me know, okay? Play that. Okay. So, your yin energy, your kidneys are the weakest organs, and this is not unusual. Okay, we all have this issue. Okay, so that's not unusual. In your yang system, your energy is pretty balanced. It's nothing untoward in there. Okay, in your inhibitory system, which is the yang part of your spirit, it's your stomach today. Okay, and in your consciousness, it is your stomach as well. So last week we treated the spleen. Okay, and the stomach and the spleen are partners, and it is, I think personally, on a level of how I see the stomach as us humans, we want things, we eat things. It's like, I want to consume stuff. I want to get what it is that you want. Okay, so sometimes that can be in itself, like a little bit of an issue, in the sense of that, because you focus too much on wanting as opposed to relaxing and allowing the universe to provide and give you opportunities to get, but you kind of like go, I want, I don't want, so I don't have, kind of, and that creates that energy around that.
Yeah.
So I think
that's sort of how I feel.
Yeah, I think this is
like everything's a struggle, because I want to have better relationships. I want to have better opportunities to provide for my family. I want them to have opportunities, and it's like, so it's like desperation.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. So if you could encapsulate it with desperation as the word, what I think I need to do is to help change your consciousness about that. Okay, and that is a mental thing. That's a kind of spiritual. It's not a physical kind of quantity. So to do that, we need to move to using the TC device that I've invented to help change your thoughts on that process. And it is something that's ongoing. So I will teach you how to do it, and you can take the device home, and then you carry on a daily basis working on things like this. Because there's many aspects of that. You rattled off a few things there, and you need to process each of those, and then you might process and find, there's something else I've got to deal with within that. So it's not something that I can do for you, and ultimately, at the end of the day, this is your consciousness, and you've got to take responsibility for it. And the way you. So I'll show you, I'll teach you, and then it's up to you. Okay? Good. So I think that's what we'll do next.
I'd just like to let everyone know how I've gone after it's been about a week and a half since I've been to Garry, had the treatments, and I've sort of noticed a lot of differences, a lot of changes. Feel my back pain has gone down quite considerably. I'm also finding that just from the treatment the other day where he did the meditation, I found that's also sort of shifted my thought pattern a bit somehow. I don't know how, but I don't feel as depressed. It's only been a very short time, couple of days, but I've been still working on the sound card and the meditation as well, and I'm finding it quite beneficial. It's definitely made some changes. Now I know anybody that suffers from chronic pain, any changes towards no pain is a wonderful thing. So I think that's what's happened for me. The pain has gone down quite considerably. I would say I'd be normally at around a 6, and now I feel like I'm down around about a 2.5 or a 3. A little bit of stiffness in the mornings when I first wake up, but that's considerably gone down as well. So very pleased with the results I've had. I've also found that my tolerance has increased because obviously, as you know too, when your pain goes down and your thought patterns slightly shift, that also helps the way you react with people and communicate with people, because you're not focused on your own issues constantly, but you can sort of digress and think about how other people feel, and which I find is very good, especially when you have a young family. So I would just like to show my appreciation for Garry, his wisdom and the help that he's given me so far. No doubt I may have to return, but at this point at least I've got some tools to work with. So I'm feeling much happier. I'm actually smiling a lot more, believe it or not. People have made comment, so I think that's a very good thing. So I'm very pleased so far with the results.